Hello? Testing, testing, Matt, are you here? Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Gordon. That's your name. Woohoo! And we are here for what we've rebranded and named as the. I'm so sorry. I do apologize. It is what it is at this point in time. We're doing this with gameplay now because here with the company that family has. Yeah. But Matt, Matt. Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, you want to run down what's going on today?
1 second. Hold on. I'm just trying to fix the,
Well, while Matt's doing that, I'll run down today.
He's fixing the mic.
What's going down today is,
alright,
we are running down for who's the St. Louis Blues. Not going to because I have to be honest. The predictions that Matt has told me I've made over the past couple of months or so. In all honesty, looking back, at the time they seemed about right. But now they're a bit crazy, it seems to me. So what I'm going to do, and what Matt's going to do, is we're going to start predicting before these playoffs start. We have the social game, we have the same job for Chicago. Matt, take it away.
And the game has started. What a wonderful matchup this one is.
Down,
it goes back years.
Okay, let me just get a pen here. We have a pencil, but okay. Real quick, I want to go through my notes from earlier in the year. And this is our first prediction me and Gordon had. I wanted to bring these up. These are the first two. We made two predictions throughout the year. And this is the third one. So the first one we had early at the season. I don't remember what time this was about. And I said, okay, so these were the teams in the playoffs at the time. Washington, Pittsburgh, Montreal when they were just killing everybody. The Panthers, the Rangers, the Senators, the Red Wings, and the Islanders. And there was also the Stars, the Coyotes, the Blues, the Sharks, the Blackhawks, Kings, the Wild, the Predators. And they said the likely teams to make it, top team in the West to make it that wasn't in that time was the Ducks. And the top team East to make it that was at the time was the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I was correct on those. So we pretty much predicted either the Stars or the Kings to play the Canadians on the final, and they aren't even there. Yeah, so that was shit. Later on we said Kings Tampa, and then, you know, Tampa we can, you know, with everything, with Tyler Johnson being out, Steven Stamkos being out.
And Strowman.
To say, you know, get strong. Alright, man, that's just more. I mean, it's just piling up for them, so. Let's go to the East real quick. We have the Capitals and the Flyers, Penguins, Rangers, Panthers, Islanders, Detroit, and Tampa. Let's start with Capitals, Flyers. Alright, how many games do you see the Capitals beating the Flyers in?
5.
5?
I'm going to agree with him. Going to get slaughtered.
Unless they start Neuver, but we'll see.
Is Neuver healthy?
Yeah, he's healthy, but he's kind of, he was a little the other day. But hopefully he's better come playoffs if they rest him up. We'll see.
I don't take, you know, starts in the regular season toward the end to really mean much because players know how much those games for the playoffs mean. And this just goes for all sports, not just hockey. I mean, it's a whole different time. Go ahead.
Well, Mason's been solid lately, so they might go with him, though. I mean, he's been good. He's not better than Neuver was earlier in the season, but I mean, I would start Neuver, but unless he's still shaky. If he's confident, then I'd roll with him for sure, but I think the Flyers go with Mason.
The Flyers have had goaltending problems for years. If Mike and Neuver can knock out the Washington Capitals who win the President's Trophy, and it's the best thing they've had since 2010, since 2010, I would have given Neuver the contract and cut Mason loose.
We thought we'd see more of that earlier.
Damn, I would. I would love, my East team is the Flyers, people, and I would love them to win this series, and I would love it if the Capitals came in underestimating them, kind of like how the Kings and the Canucks were a few years ago, and the Flyers just made an epic underdog story and came back beating the Capitals, but that would not happen. I think they might get that, one of those, the story I just said would happen in, you know, game 3 or 4, but the Capitals would win in 5, and I'd predict the Capitals to win. Is all we have to say about that?
I mean, I don't really see the Flyers that much of a threat to Washington. They've had some close games during the regular season, but I think things are going to be different. And
yeah,
remember, Matt, Mr. Game 7, in case things do go down.
Yeah, Justin Williams. Exactly. All right, got to remember him.
As much as it pains me to say that, because that started against my team. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, this goes back to when he was with Carolina, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His 06 legacy started against Buffalo. Like, his legacy started against Buffalo.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's right. They played. I forgot that. Yeah, I mean, he is 7-0 in Game 7, and he has a goal in each of those games. I think he actually has. How many goals did he? I wonder how. I think he has a 2-goal. Two-goal game, or and also, just when it comes to a team being on the verge of elimination, he always seems to get a goal other than that one Hawks game in a few years ago. But that once it came to Game 7,
won that game.
Oh yeah, Game 7 though. I'm talking about when the Kings had a 3-1 lead. He's a great player to have at those clutch moments. Like when you need a goal, he will score it for you. So I think that he's gonna help with the Caps. Plus that times where you got Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, Oshie, Backstrom, stacked. So Capitals for sure. Penguins Rangers. This one is gonna be hard. I think with the Penguins being white hot, I think the Penguins will finally beat the Rangers.
Rangers
for a while I was
in 6.
saying Rangers would beat the Penguins.
Rangers in 6, my friend.
Rangers in 6. You think so? I'm gonna go with you. I trust you on this one more. Rangers in 6.
Look, man, I have an interesting stat for you. Counting the Stanley Cup loss in 08-09, the Pittsburgh Penguins have they've lost their last seven playoff series. Not counting the Cup win, Marc-Andre Fleury and the Pittsburgh Penguins, with that team with Sidney Crosby leading it, have lost 7 straight playoff years.
Yeah.
I guess. What much confidence can you have? The most successful run you can say they had was against the 2013, but they got swept by the Bruins. So can you really call that successful? Because how would they really have matched up against Chicago?
Yeah, true. Well, what I like about this whole situation with the Metropolitan is either team out of all these 4 teams, you can win and get an epic series out of any of them. In my opinion, Flyers Penguins would be my favorite because I hate the Penguins and I love the Flyers. You can get a classic like the Flyers and the Rangers. You get Penguins you can get the Capitals and the Rangers, which have another epic series. And then of course you could have the Capitals and the Penguins, Ovechkin up against Crosby, probably for the last time, or close to that at least. So out of all those, you can get an epic series in my opinion. Well, I mean, Crosby, like we said before, the Penguins are going to be rebuilding within a few years.
Matt, actually,
they're good now, but
let me say this much. That seemed like the case when Johnston was there. If Mike Sullivan gets the job, the way he's ran the team, I mean, and all the young players they brought up and have succeeded, if you have the foundation, if you have the solid rock foundation of Kessel, Crosby, and Malkin, all on the same team, it doesn't look too bad. It really doesn't. Especially considering Crosby's not even 30 yet. Crosby's not 30 yet. Malkin's not 30 yet. Kessel's not 30 yet. And then you have the young foundation.
Yeah, but look at the teams they got to go up with. Look at this. They only have a few years until they start running into teams like Buffalo, Florida more, Tampa, because all those teams are going to get in their prime soon.
Yes, but you have to realize, each of those teams, it's going to come down to who has the better depth. Because Pittsburgh, they have their foundation, and then they have young depth that'll get playoff experience this year and get better. And Florida has that too, which is why we'll get to them in a second. And Tampa has that as well, and they're going to really have to lean on them again this year.
McDonough is injured.
McDonough or not, Henrik Lundqvist is still a huge factor, as he always is.
All right, so you say Rangers?
Rangers in 6, my friend.
Okay. All right, Panthers, Islanders. I say Panthers in 5 or 6.
Panthers, Islanders.
Crawford's gonna have to be sure.
Yeah.
If they keep giving them
isn't Halak still injured?
good start.
Yeah.
Okay, Halak injured. Panthers.
Luongo, Yager.
I mean,
you know what? I haven't been bold yet. This isn't just like, oh, I honestly think this. I want to be bold. I think it can happen, but I don't think it will happen. Panthers win a sweep.
Ooh. All right, we'll remember that. I mean, it's not. We won't take your word on it all the way, but if it happens, hey, you called it. Okay, so Tampa, Detroit. Same with this series. I would like to see the Panthers play Detroit, but for the first time in history, I'd like to see the Panthers play Tampa, but not without a Stamkos and a Johnson. So I think.
Hold on, isn't this 2 out of 3 years? Isn't this 2 out of 3 years that the Panthers, not the Panthers, that the Lightning have faced the Red Wings in the playoffs?
The who? Oh, Tampa. Yeah. But no Stamkos, no Johnson, and who else did you say was out?
Anton Strawman.
You can't ask much more from your
okay, that's right. So I think with Datsuk going out soon, this team's gonna really push. I think that Detroit wins in 7 games.
KHL.
Yeah, for one last. That's where he's going next year.
You said for 1 year?
St. Louis gets it off the
yeah.
draw. Keeps it going.
So when he comes back, is he a free agent?
The pass is off the mark. What a chance
Yeah.
that would have been.
Oh my God.
But that's only if he comes back. He might just retire.
He's shaking loose on a nice
So we don't count on him going Buffalo for a pay cut. It's possible. It's possible, but I mean, he's moving out there because of family issues. So I don't think he's just gonna stay out there for a few years. I think he'd be like, let's just wait. I'm gonna contract Inspire, play in Russia for a year, then come back. I don't see that happening, but you never know. But who do you say? I think Ben Bishop can definitely steal the series, but at the same time, I
don't think he can, dude. That team is too fast. That team is way too fast. Detroit in
7. It has to go to 7.
I don't say 7, dude. Stamkos, Strawman, Johnson, big loss. 5 or 6, maybe 5. Actually, I'll say this. How game 1 and game 2 will define how the series goes.
Yes, okay. Okay, let's head on over to the West. Stars Wild. Like you said the other day, I wouldn't count out the Wild immediately, but I still do see the Stars getting away. A lot of people are predicting the Stars to be a beat team this year, even though they said that for the Blues last year. Look what happened. It's tough, but I think the Stars are better than the Blues, so I say Stars do beat the Wild.
St. Louis has enlarged their lead now to
Stars
2,
in 7.
and we're in the second period. So
Stars in 7. Okay.
I
agree.
Minnesota is a weird team.
They're weird in the first round. They're so weird in the first round. They always beat the first place team. They did the Blues last year, or they did the Stars this year. And then them and the Hawks, I think this might be one of the coolest years between Wild and the Hawks if it happens again. This is the 1 year I'm actually excited to see them face a again because how Minnesota played them this year. And it's like, will that translate into playoffs? Probably not, but we should see, but maybe we won't.
Let me put it this way. I've looked into each of these. The last 6 weeks, Minnesota has been the most bipolar thing going, dude.
For sure. Okay, Hawks Blues. A lot of people are saying the Blues, but no doubt the Hawks for me. Hawks win.
No doubt.
I think the Blues, even if they lost in Game 6. If they can get lucky and force Game 7, Hawks will still beat them. I think it's going to take a few seasons for the Blues to really take out the Hawks. I think they need a bit more to their team to beat the Hawks.
I'll say this much. Anisimov is okay, right from what you seen the other night?
This thing changes direction.
Yeah.
It's an
so he's okay.
Stop for the goaltender.
Yeah, he should be fine. I haven't heard anything. Everyone's healthy, it looks like. They were saying everyone's healthy.
Okay, so you got a healthy... So everybody thinking just shut down Patrick Kane, you'll be okay. You have to remember Taves, and these are the key people who have to contribute. Because remember, when Patrick Kane was not contributing in certain situations last year, you had Brandon Saad who was contributing in bunches. Anisimov and Panarin and Ladd are key.
The Blackhawks bench really got excited when
and if they don't contribute, Chicago's in trouble.
And then you got to remember, Artemi Panarin, will he translate into the postseason?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we're going to have to wait and see. Yeah. So we'll see. But Hawks win for sure. For sure.
And wait. They're going with not Jake Allen. I think they're going with Brian Elliott, aren't they?
I don't know.
I think that's what NBC said yesterday.
Who's the one you like? Don't you like Allen?
No, I actually, yeah. I like Jake Allen. I honestly, Jake Allen is the goaltender of the future, no matter what. They've even said it themselves. Jake Allen is that good.
That's good then.
Like, along with John Gibson, Jake Allen's going to be one of those goals look in the future and just wow.
Him, Mrazek's up there.
Mrazek, Allen, Gibson. I want to put Leonard up there, but he's in like that Frederick Anderson range where he's like 24 years old. No goal. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at Chicago and...
We'd have to wait and see for him. You'd have to wait and see for him.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Leonard's going to be up there now. So yeah, next round. Ducks and the Predators.
Oh, wait, I didn't even say. I didn't say, man. Who's starting the series for not for Chicago for St. Louis?
Yeah, just look up who's starting for St. Louis in the playoffs. But I mean, Ducks Predators. I think this will be tough for the Ducks, but I think that it can do it. I think the Ducks can beat the Predators.
Ducks in 5, bro.
I mean, I say Ducks in 6, but I mean, it could be 5. I think it's just they're going to get white hot, but I mean the Ducks are just. I'm not trying to be biased, guys, because believe me, you can know when I'm biased because what will happen at round 2 can be totally different. So I think, I think the Ducks can win this series, but I think if the Ducks underestimate the series, like they did Detroit a few years ago, that's how the team comes back and beats you. And they are capable of beating the Ducks if the Ducks are not at their game. But if the Ducks go around and playing their game, the Ducks will win. John Gibson is starting, so we'll have to see how he does. And then back up you have Freddie Anderson, who has playoff experience. He had that shutout the other day, so he's doing fine. But Gibson's the guy to go with.
Well, I say Ducks in 5.
Ducks in 5. All right. Next series. Everyone is saying this is the series to watch. King Sharks. I would like the Sharks to win because I would like to play the Sharks in round 2, but I say Kings win in 4 or 5 games. This is why a lot of people say, oh, it's going to 7. And I even talked to Kings fans like, I don't know, the Sharks are going to be hard. I say if you haven't been, I think the Kings are better than they were a few years ago for sure, because look how they ended up this season. The Kings, if they have a mentality going in like with that chip on their shoulders saying, hey, you know what, if we were to come back from 3-0 and win the next 4, let's just sweep them. And then maybe the Sharks get 1 win, barely. I would love the Sharks to win this series because I would think Ducks and Sharks would be a cool series again in the playoffs. But I think the Kings will definitely win this.
Let's see how they play it with this comfortable lead.
Well, I'm looking at it and I think I'm not 100% sure. But Brian Elliott is, I think, is starting in the playoffs for them. And in that case, Chicago in 5 or 6. That's a man of a joke when it comes to him getting the jump into the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
hopefully they go with that one.
Kings
That's
and
good
Sharks,
for you, though.
I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting the series, but I'm not really invested in either of the teams really, and I know you don't sleep on the Kings. I expect the Kings to be near the West Final, but at the same time, with that being said, I'll give the Sharks 2 games. I'll say,
6?
Martin Jones steals them 1. I'll give them 2 games. Martin Jones steals them 1, and 1 where they outplay the Kings.
Yeah. Maybe like game 2, something like that. Okay, let's head on back over to the East. We have the Capitals and the Rangers. I say this is the year the Capitals do beat the Rangers. What do you say?
It's a flip a coin situation. Like you're not really gonna.
Nothing's better than before.
Wait, what?
The Capitals are a better team now. I mean, without McDonough, if he's not there, and you know, even Lundqvist tries to steal with that offense that the Rangers or the Capitals have. I think this is the year they do it. When the Ducks, like if you look at the Ducks last year, they came so close to beating the Hawks, but they needed some pieces.
Matt, you have to remember though, you can't expect everybody, you know, who shows up during the regular season to show up in the playoffs. There's gonna be someone who slacks or, you know.
I say Capitals in 7 still. It's gonna be hard, but I say Capitals in 7.
Okay, if the Capitals will win, not if the Capitals, who would they face in the East Final then?
It'd either be the Panthers or the Red Wings.
Then the winner of that series would go to the Cup, because I don't see either of those teams getting past the Capitals or Rangers.
Who do you say, Capitals or Rangers in?
Just off the strength of the team at this moment, I'm gonna say Capitals.
Okay, Caps and Ring. Okay. Panthers, Detroit. I think Detroit can get this one actually. Panthers are young. I think so is Detroit. Other than Zetterberg, Kronwall and Datsuk obviously, and they have Mrazek and Howard. Luongo will do damn good. I say Panthers, Detroit goes to Game 7, but I can see Detroit breaking through for Datsuk once again. Who do you say? Panthers or Detroit?
I'm gonna go. I want to give Luongo the upset. I want to give Luongo the upset, but I can't do that in all good consciousness because of strength of team and everything.
Look at this. Look at the Ducks versus the Red Wings a few years ago. Young team mainly, and then they went up against the Red Wings. Red Wings beat us. I think that's what's going to happen here on this. That type of series. Panthers will do good at times, but then Red Wings will have that experience against them.
You know what, man? But the Red Wings have... Isn't this Mrazek's first year in the playoffs?
Yeah, but you also have Jimmy Howard, who's been pretty good lately. He hasn't been losing.
Dude, doesn't matter. Jimmy Howard has been Jimmy Howard has a reputation in the playoffs, and yeah.
This is Datsuk's last year. They're going to be going guns blazing. I say Detroit wins this for sure. I think that experience is going to catch up to them. Yes, Yager and Luongo on, and you can also throw in Campbell for the Panthers. But I still see Detroit win.
Florida in 7.
Florida in 7. We disagree finally. Okay, going to Florida, I say Detroit in 7. Okay. So what I think will be either the first or second best in the West series that we might get, Stars Hawks. Hawks in 7.
Hawks in
or even
6.
6 maybe. Hawks in, okay, I'll go
I mean,
that.
even if things fall apart that bad, if things fall apart really bad, dude, Hawks in 5.
Yeah, because that defense and goaltending for the Stars, that's what they need. So, yeah, Hawks in 5 or 6. Ducks versus Kings. I've been thinking today, I honestly think the Ducks can beat the Kings. But, every year the Ducks come before the playoffs and say, oh, well, they it's the press, they come and ask the Ducks questions. Oh, well, do you think this experience in the regular season will help you in the playoffs like last year? And they said, oh, you have all those overtime wins. And, the close games. Do you think that'll help you in the playoffs? And they're like, oh, yeah, for sure. We lost 3 out of 6 overtime wins last year. One of those was to the Flames, and 2 of those were to the Hawks. I think the Ducks will, they won't get destroyed in Game 6 or 7 again. Oh man, there's part of me. I think the Ducks, if Kessler's always at his game usually, but if we can get, I think if you put Raquel, Perry, and Peary on that line, and then put McGinn, Perron, and gets off the other, or even gets off, or McGinn with Raquel and Perry, you can make, and then of course, and then you have Kessler, Silverberg, Kylander shut people down and provide some offense. Those are 3 deadly elite lines right there going up against you. I think the Ducks do have what it takes to pick out the Kings, but Kings have that, they have the hunger. Even though the Ducks do, I think if the Kings will beat us in like Game 7 in overtime or by like a goal this year, and next year's year we finally beat the Kings. So I'm going to say Kings in 7. It hurts me to say that. I think the Ducks have what it takes to do it, but the Ducks we need to be realistic. I know there's these underdog stories and unexpected things happen in hockey, but when it comes to the Ducks, I'm just going to go with what I've seen. It's one of the things I have to see it to believe it. I have to see the Ducks beat the Kings and beat the Hawks. They battle these teams so hard, but they lose in Game 7. I need to see them beat one of these teams the first time to say they can beat these teams. So if you understand where I'm coming from, I hate the Kings, but I think they're the better team as of now in the playoffs.
Matt, you're not saying it, but you're basing it down to what have you done for me lately, and I can be a biased fan and think about. No, you're thinking like I can be a biased fan and say right now that my team can win because of this, that, and this, but until proven, I can't say that.
Exactly. Well, the Ducks haven't beaten an elite team really, other than the Stars, but they weren't as elite as Chicago or LA.
Dude, that's when the Stars were a young team. That's when they were piecing together the young team, and Valerie Nichushkin was their new breakout story back then.
Yeah.
You know what Ben is capable of. That's when Tyler Seguin got to Dallas. And yeah.
I'm gonna say, I've said this a million times on this channel. I'm gonna say it again. Hopefully this video gets some views so people can hear it. The Ducks are like the Red Wings in the mid-90s. They came so close and then they lose, and everyone blamed, you know, Yzerman or you know, that for not producing in the playoffs. Or was it Lindros? No, it was yes, Yzerman. Just like Getzoff, not producing in the playoffs, coming so close but losing to New Jersey after being the Cup favorites, losing Colorado being the Cup favorites, and then all of a sudden, once they beat those teams, then they became the real deal. And that's what I think the Ducks have to do. If they beat the Kings, and then they can beat the Hawks, absolutely. Because they're, you know, the Ducks are, if you have that hunger to beat the Kings who missed the playoffs and are almost gonna, they might have a dynasty within the next 3-4 years, that shows you can compete with them. That's how you become another deadly team in the West. I think the two deadliest teams in the West are the Kings and the Blackhawks because they've won a cup. The Ducks are right there, soon to be one of those, and I think the Stars are the same way, except they're just a year behind us. All they need is a goaltender and defense. If they were to jump on Anderson the offseason, I think that'd be great for them. But
that'd be actually
that's another story. I think we can talk about that some other time though. But I still think, I hate to say it, but the Ducks are gonna have to prove to me if the King, I mean,
Matt,
it's one of those things.
Perfect off-season for Dallas is Keith Yandel, Frederick Anderson.
Exactly. Or Jimmy Howard, if they can get him.
If you can get him, if you can get Howard and Anderson.
Been a long time since this wasn't
Shit,
the
yeah.
variety stop for a goalie. Down in the butterfly turn.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Oh, okay, Gordon's gonna. But yeah, I think, I mean, yeah, get those 2 years out of Jimmy Howard, and then you have Anderson ready to start for you. It's like, that's pretty good right there. And then get a, you know, yeah, like you said, Keith Yandel, and maybe even a defenseman of ours. If we had to get rid of, I hate to get rid of Vatanen, but if that's what our GM is going to do, the Stars will be one of those teams that need to jump on.
They're signing Vatanen and getting rid of Fowler.
David, and it's one home of Vatanen, but I mean, you're gonna have to trade. To trade Fowler, we need a damn good prospect in return. That's what our GM likes. He likes his prospects.
All right, man. Well, this is.
But I mean,
I have not said my piece on Ducks Kings. For you, you told the story.
Go ahead.
You told the one story. I'll tell my. It comes down to, it comes down to, you know, basically what the Ducks can do in many certain areas. To me, and I'm sorry that I've made the story about the team the entire season, it's probably been selfishness, but I'll say this much. It comes down to goaltending. And the real logistics of it comes down to goaltending. That's what it is, dude. Honestly, I honestly think the series can go one of two ways. It can be one of those series where it's like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia from 2012, where the goalies really don't matter, and whichever one does worse is going to lose the series. Or it can go this way, where it comes down to how good one team does against not how good one team does, how good the goaltending is. It can be a defensive goaltending, hard hitting, wear 'em out type of series.
Yeah.
And I honestly
think how it's gonna go.
I honestly think that it could be that, you know, the story of goaltending. Whose goalie is better? Whose team is better at goalie? And it's up to John Gibson.
That's the case.
Yeah.
It is Quick though. I mean, Gibson is goalie of the future, but Quick is the present.
Quick is the present, but what if the future can be now in the playoffs? I'm not saying that the Ducks are going to do it. I'm still saying Kings win the series in 6 or 7.
There's a chance. Well, there's absolutely a chance.
Yeah, but he's seen this team before, and he sees this team all the time, and he's beaten this team 2 times this year? 2 times, right?
Gibson?
Yeah, he beat the Kings twice this year, right?
Twice this year, like 3 times last year?
Twice this year, 3 times last year, and then he sees them in the playoffs. And see, that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about Ducks and Kings. The crowd is perfect, the atmosphere is perfect, the games are played like playoff games, and the intensity is where playoff games are. So all John Gibson has to do
underrated.
Oh, go ahead.
Most underrated rival in the league.
Yeah, and that's only because...
Or at least one of them.
That's only because like the games aren't able to be seen all that much because you know how it comes back to the McDavid versus Eichel situation. If neither of those guys are on your air often and you don't put the games on for one guy or another, then who's going to really know how good the rivalry is or who's going to know how good the games are? And they've only had one game
exactly,
and McDavid scored both goals. But still, in that case, you don't know how good something is until you show your national audience. And if the national audience isn't having the games presented to them as often, and I don't want to hear that it's too late stuff, because Sharks and Kings, whenever NBC gets a chance, it's on all the time.
And it's, I mean, we'll talk. We don't need to talk about Sharks Kings. We'll talk about that once the round is over, what we think about that. But I mean, I think the Ducks do have what it takes. I mean, Gibson, I think he's going to be, I think he really wants to beat this team. Same with Anderson, if he were to start. Gibson has some revenge to get, though. After a few years ago, being 20 years old, shutting out a Stanley Cup team, they caught up to him. They cracked him.
He was 19.
19, geez.
Coming out, the year before, coming out of the World Junior Championships with a gold medal, and his first attempt of starting, coming to the NHL the very next year, being a 19-year-old kid, coming into this first game, shutting out Vancouver, coming through the playoffs, shutting out the Kings in one game, and then
he did get
Game 7.
He did collapse, but with a rookie, it had to happen almost. And he did good in Game 6. So he did bad in Game 5, did good in Game 6, and then Game 7 is where they really got him. But our defense and offense was not a factor in that, so I'm not fully going to blame him. Also, I think if you look how the season started, and the great thing how the Ducks did win the Pacific Division title, we did lose to the Kings last Thursday, but we had a lot of guys out. We just weren't on our game, which sucked. But I think these games we're going to get are going to be a lot better than the ones we've seen this season. But the Ducks were, at a time in December, worst team in the whole division. And they came all the way back to make it first place. Once again, you'd think that'd be a factor for any other team, but with the Ducks, it's like the regular season has not done anything for us lately. The division titles, the winning the close games. Everything, every time they say, will this help you in the playoffs? Every year they ask us this. It's something different. Well, this year they're saying, well, when you face adversity, you come back and you have all these different ways of beating teams. You shut them out. You play good defense. You score 5 goals. You score 2 goals. You have all these ways of beating them. You have the best penalty kill and power play, the best since 84, 85 Islanders. But and you might say that sounds great on paper, but when it comes to the Ducks, can you win Game 6 and 7? Can you close these teams out? And they're going to have to prove me wrong. I'm a diehard Ducks fan. They're saying, oh, you're not supporting your team. Yes, I am. And I have faith in them to do it. But at the same time, I'm not going to give my hopes up like I did years in the past. I thought they would beat the Hawks last year in Game 7 in overtime. Fucking did not even come close to happening. So they're going to have to prove me wrong. I'm going to be cheering for them. I'm not going to be critical the whole time. Just go out there and beat the team. You need to be like Chicago. You need to be like LA. Just have that confidence. Go out there and play it. You can't expect to win just by, chilling. You need to go out there and fucking do it. Because, I mean, I don't want to have it against the Kings and have the last 20 minutes of this whole season after coming back for nothing if we lose. If we lose, I'm not saying this is a must-win for the Ducks, but at the same time, what was the point of making that huge comeback? I mean, I'd rather not make the playoffs and lose to the fucking Kings, because that's bragging rights to them, and they're all over here, so it's like, that just fucking, it hurts.
Matt, you're letting the fan take over, my friend.
It is, but at the same time, no, it's not, because I'm predicting the Kings to win.
I mean, you had no other choice at this point until proven wrong. Sports is about what have you done for me lately, and the Ducks can't say, they can say, oh, we beat them all the time in the regular season. Well, yeah, you did that this year, you did that last year, and you did that the year before.
We are a lot better. Yeah, we are a lot better. We are way better than what we were a few years ago. We have Kessler now. We have all these lines, but at the same time, I don't know if we have what it takes to beat the Kings. It's
another thing is it comes down to durability. It comes down to durability, and the King. Let's go back to the Ducks game playing against the Hawks last year. The Ducks thought the Hawks weren't that durable. We'll hit them when we're out. We'll hit them. They won't be as strong. We hit them. Everything will change. They won't be as fast. They won't be as precise with their passion. They won't be so comfortable. We hit them, and then we play our defensive game. not to be mean, and I know the Ducks do have offense, and more offense than Nashville actually, but how did that work for Nashville?
Didn't work. Didn't work for us either. But our defense is a lot better last year. I mean, that was their first legit year going that far. So that experience should help us. And they said it was the worst loss of the playoffs in recent years. So we'll have to see. I think we'll be a lot stronger, but that's why we're gonna lose. But we might lose close, is what I'm saying.
Now here's my question. Here's my question, sir. When it comes down to this series, I mean, look. Let's be 100% right now, Matt. The Ducks, you guys have played that way for years. Do you approach some of these series with a different game plan? Does Bruce approach some of these series with a different game plan? Let's try and be better offensively than this team. We know how good we are at defense. Play our defensive game, but let's focus on offense first, defense second, when we know we have a steady hand at goalie in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, because because teams prepare for that. Like teams like, oh, this team plays this way, this team plays that way. Okay, let me give you an example. I'll give you two examples actually. LA and San Jose. LA knows that San Jose is going to come at them and be gritty and as dirty and as physical as possible, but they're going to still get their first mentality is going to be crack Jonathan Quick, and as hard as that's going to be, crack Jonathan Quick. They're not worried about Kopitar. They're not worried about Brown because Matt, we all know Justin Brown has not been, that productive offensively over the years.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are not worried about. It's going to be like shut down a couple of guys. We can afford for these guys to get chances, just not, chances that are too good. You guys have more offensive firepower than the Kings. This is what I'm saying.
But it's a defense.
If the motive is offense first, because Matt, you even said it yourself, and this brought it to me the other night. Like, boom, the Kings don't give up third period leads.
They don't.
So
not anymore.
The motive should be offense first.
You can just go out there and go out there, play our game. Don't try to be what you're not. Don't bring speed. Just how LA plays Chicago, that's how we gotta play them.
Try not to score them.
That's what you gotta do. Offense. And then if our defense is right on, with great defense, if we can shut them down, that's where you gotta take advantage of the offense, score goals.
And Matt,
you can't just have a 1-0 lead and just kick back.
At this moment, I'm putting together the playoffs in NHL 16. Who is Florida facing again? Is it Islanders?
Yeah.
Oh, so I got everything together. Okay. I'll update you on what's going on, and I'll continue saying this. But, continue.
So, I mean, if we were to shut down Chicago, it's like you got to get some goals. Because if all you have is a 2-0 lead over them, Chicago can score at will. They will come back. Chris Stewart, I listened to his podcast this morning with Cabby. He's a podcast guy who interviews hockey players. He said, Chicago, it's like 1 minute you'll be dominating them defensively. They'll have a 2-0 lead, and within like 2 minutes they'll have a 3-2 lead over you. You need to, I think, and we haven't played Chicago in the playoffs before, so I think if we know what they can do and shut them down and know when to do it and know when to score and all the timing, that's how you beat them. Beating the Kings can be a bit different because we play that same style, so it's offense first, obviously, and then, but also have the defense, at their game. That's how you beat them. And have all three of those lines. You can't just have Getzlaf and Perry going in. You gotta have Kessler score, Raquel score, Perron, McGinn, Silverberg.
Like everyone on your top two lines has to score. And like here and there, you have to get those chip-in goals from the third line.
But you can't rely on the Perry's on there. Those are 3 elite lines. It's gonna be hard to shut all of us down. You can shut one of us down, but then you also have the other lines. And one of our other lines is the shutdown line.
Well, Matt, you guys can't be shut them down, stop them first. You guys have a score goals first mentality. And a lot of teams can say, yes, that's what we have, but at the same time, is that really the case?
Exactly. That's why, do you think the Ducks, if they're at their game, they could beat the Kings?
Well, I'll tell you that in 1 second, but I'll tell you this first. In the simulation version of the game, the Ducks just swept Nashville.
Nice.
But do I think the Ducks can beat the Kings? Until proven, no. No. I'm not going to say, well, if this happens, that happens. Until proven, I can't say that.
I say we might have it in us, but I don't think we will. So, what do you say? You say Ducks? You're going to watch this series, right?
Yes, Ducks. If it happens, yes.
Okay. So, what do you say? What do you see Kings gonna win in 7 again?
Yes, it goes to 7. Kings win.
Okay.
But if the Ducks do not have a score first mentality, oh yeah, the Kings just beat the Sharks, so Ducks and Kings is happening next. Yeah. And Tampa Bay just beat Detroit. I at least think that's how it's going, but yeah, I'll be watching that.
Okay, good. And then we have Capitals Rangers. We said the Caps, right?
What, Capitals Rangers?
Yeah, we said
yes.
Capital. Oh, wait, we're at the conference final now. Okay, so we have Capitals versus Detroit for me, and I say Caps win in 5. And then we have Capitals versus Panthers. I say Caps win in 5 again. Or
I say Caps sweep the Panthers.
I
mean, not sweep. I say they sweep the Panthers.
Sweep Detroit. I say 5 Panthers beat Detroit in 5, no problem. The next series is hard to call, but I think if the Kings can beat the Ducks this year, the Kings can beat the Hawks in the conference final. I think they are more hungry than the Hawks. They missed the playoffs last year. They want that cup. I say Kings can take out the Hawks.
All right, man.
What do you say? Hawks win?
Hawks beat the Kings in 6.
I say Kings in 7 or 6.
All right, so do you want to know what the second round matchups are in the game here?
Yeah.
We've got Ducks and Kings, Blues and Wild, Penguins and Capitals, and Lightning and Panthers.
Okay, who wins all those?
Round 2 and Ducks and Kings. Like I said, I have Kings in 7. Round 2 in the game here, I have Blues in 6, and I'm probably gonna be wrong about that because the Blues series did go to 7. Pittsburgh and Washington, I have Washington in 6, and Tampa and Florida, Tampa in 7. No, not even 7, 5.
Okay, can you see who wins now?
Anaheim 1-0. Minnesota 1-0. I'm sorry. Anaheim 1-0. Minnesota 1-0. Washington 1-0, and Tampa 1-0. Now you can continue.
All
right. Who do we have in the cup here?
We have, for you, Hawks versus the Capitals, and I have Kings versus Capitals. I say if the Capitals versus Hawks, I say Capitals win because, you know, that hunger factor, and if the Capitals, how they played this season, going up against any team they can win. But at the same time, I don't think they'd be ready for the Kings.
The Hawks remind me of Tampa Bay from last year. You're good, you found something that works, but you're going to be out. Just this time, they're not going to be Tampa Bay. I think they're stronger than Tampa Bay. I say Capitals out in 7 against Chicago.
I say Kings win. I hate to say it, but Kings
it's the same thing. It's the same situation. Oh yeah, Tampa Bay just swept Florida, and I was right about that one. No, I said 5. I'm sorry. LA and Anaheim are at 2-2. 3-2 Anaheim.
What? Good. But this is where it comes in. Kings win game 6, and then they win game 7. Watch.
Penguins beat the Capitals 4-1. That's a shocker.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to game 7 with Ducks and Kings.
Yep. And Kings win game 7.
We'll
no
find
doubt
out
about it, Cole.
Oh, we got 2 game 7s coming up here. We have Kings and Ducks in Minnesota and St. Louis. Kings win.
I knew it.
And they're facing the Wild. Kings are going to the Cup.
Oh, God.
Now, imagine this actually happens this year.
Oh, geez, that'd be disgusting.
Minnesota slides all the way through. They never had to face Chicago. They beat St. Louis, and they got to the Kings. And the East, you've got Tampa and Pittsburgh.
Wait, so what's going on now? Huh?
East final, Tampa, Pittsburgh. West final, Minnesota, St. Louis. Minnesota versus LA. Okay, now you had the Kings winning in 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had Chicago winning in 7. It comes down to, like we've said, it comes down to experience and who has the wherewithal to do it. And we know the story of each of those 2 teams. I don't see really Washington outlasting either one of those teams. I'm sorry, I just don't. Chicago is durable, and they're like cockroaches. They just don't die. Same goes for the Kings. Even going back to the series against the Sharks a couple years ago, where they looked they're going to get eliminated. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. Both those teams,
all of them,
they're like cockroaches. They each find some way to stick around. Minnesota just won in 7.
Nice.
That's scary. Tampa and Pittsburgh are at Game 7. Pittsburgh versus Minnesota.
Yo.
This is scary. The Minnesota Wild are 4 games away from winning the Stanley Cup. Minnesota 1-0 Wild.
2-0 Wild.
1-1 Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
2-1 Minnesota.
Oh jeez.
3-1 Minnesota. Your new Stanley Cup champion. Minnesota Wild.
Oh my god. That's what Dan Rosen predicted. He said the Wild would go to the final but lose.
Dude.
Oh my gosh,
I don't get this game away from me.
That's weird.
That's scary.
What teams will you be rooting for this year in the playoffs?
My few usuals. My few usuals. There would be Chicago, Dallas, and Pittsburgh, and then if Chicago, like my outside choice, like my outside looking in choice is the Anaheim Ducks.
You gotta go with the Ducks, man. Once the Sabres make it in the playoffs, they'll be my East team, unless they play the Flyers. But other than that, the Flyers would be the Hawks for you, and then or the Hawks for you, the Flyers are for me, and then the Sabres would be the Ducks for you. Or fuck, you know what I mean?
You hit the Hawks. I hit the
Ducks
Flyers.
Would be the Sabres for me. Fuck, I said that wrong again.
We know what you mean, Matt. So is there anything else you want to say here?
No, I think that's it. And when do you think we'll be back up here? I actually get to go to Friday's game against Nashville, so hopefully this weekend.
I can go to the playoff game too. No, I don't. We don't have playoffs out here.
Oh no. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's see.
Other news for any Sabres fans. Tim Murray had a press conference today. Locker clean-out day was yesterday. Cody McCormick was forced to retire because of blood clots. Could end up working in the NHL front office. And Cal O'Reilly, Ryan O'Reilly's brother, has been waived today.
Oh shit.
Yeah, how do you think Ryan feels about that?
Not good.
And Tim Murray
did say 30 goals against Toronto.
Yeah. And Tim Murray did say that playoffs are a realistic goal next year. And plus there was a 20-point improvement. Actually, no. I think I may be wrong, but there was a 30-point improvement because the mark was actually no, it was 25-point improvement because we had 55 points. And we had 84 this year. Not 84, 82. So a 20-some point improvement would have been, which means for those who are saying Murray's an idiot, the rebuild won't work, and there are those people out here, Matt. There are people who do not believe in Tim Murray at all, and they say he's an idiot. It's not going to work. Well, his projection planned out just right at the spot he wanted. So he said the Sabres will fight for the playoff spot next year, and I have every right to believe him because I think that free agency, big things will be done. And they asked him what to expect in free agency, and what he said was, we need a major defenseman and a major forward, and there's a major forward who's a free agent this year that we're aiming for.
Shoot, we'll have to wait and see. I know who that is.
Yeah, and yes, and with that being Steven Stamkos, oh god, I can't get the Minnesota Wild out of my head. With that being Steven Stamkos, how raw of a deal did Steve Yzerman get by not trading that guy?
Oh, I know.
Like, Stamkos is not going to be able to play through the playoffs at all. Like, he won't be back at all.
It's bad. It's bad.
Dude.
But,
oh, go ahead.
Well, we're going to talk about that whole thing, I think, the next time we come up here more. We're going to have to talk a lot about that once we hear more about Stamkos. I'm sure he'll have an interview within the next 2 weeks about the playoffs. And, we're going to try to do... So we'll do... Once we come up here again, we'll talk about how the playoffs are going. We're not going to go too far into it until once we really get into it is once all the series are over.
Matt,
and then we're gonna
I have an idea. We come up here at the end of each round. Like, once like a good majority of the series are done, like say there's one series lingering around, Yeah, because round 2s don't start until all round 1s are over, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so once all round 1s are over, we'll come back over for round 2.
Yeah. Well, we might make a video in between, just little tiny ones separately, or NHL games. We'll be playing the NHL against each other, so that's pretty much it, though.
Yeah, that's about it. And
we'll come up here we'll only predict round 2. Well, you know, I'm sure we'll have some shockers in there. It's gonna be epic. I'm ready for the playoffs, man.
I am too, and I'm gonna say this much right now. For those who watched Be a Pro the other day, and there was no commentary. I'm sorry about that. And for those who are thinking, what are you doing? Why are you not playing with the LA Kings? I am not a Kings fan. I did not want to be a part of that organization. They treated me like absolute garbage, and I had no want to be there. Winnipeg Jets, the same thing goes for them, really. I'm just waiting for this 1-year contract to expire. And, yeah, this isn't going well, though. I mean, thus far. But I'll continue to keep the Be a Pro going. There will continue to be gaming content on this channel. We're working hard for subscribers. We're working hard for subscribers. I'm even taking time out of making my wrestling videos for my other channel, my gaming videos, but to be specific, to get this, to get this channel up on its feet. I at least want to get like a good subscriber goal, at least about a good 3 or 4 subscribers by the time the playoffs are over for this channel, before I can full-time go back to making gameplay videos for the other one, because I have to log in and out of YouTube on the PlayStation, and it's not that easy. But enough of my problems. Matt, you got anything else to say? You got anything else to say?
I'm stressed out. I know you have your Hawks in, but if your Sabres were in, you'd have a different feeling going into this.
Oh, dude, I think I'm not stressed.
No, I know you are for the Hawks, but I mean, what would you be more stressed about? What would be your #1 priority going into the playoffs? The Hawks or the Sabres?
Oh, the Hawks are on the back burner. They're on the number 2 side. Here's how it is now.
Exactly.
The Hawks are number 1.
Flyers.
The Hawks are number 1. Pittsburgh's number 2. I'd be stressed for Pittsburgh, but it's like I have a priority already that I'm number 1 invested into. So it wouldn't be as bad as the Sabres were in.
Yeah. But I mean,
it wouldn't be as bad on Chicago's side. It'd be worse for me right now. And to say it'd be worse, I think I might need a doctor sitting right by me, because last year, I remember Game 4 against Nashville and Game 2 against Anaheim. I'm sitting here literally rocking, like Matt. I'm rocking like an insane person with a straitjacket on. I'm serious when I tell you this now. Any shot that goes in the air, my heart skips a beat in overtime.
Yep, same here.
I have a tear coming down my face and my heart skipping a beat.
I agree. There's nothing better than playoff hockey, but there's nothing more stressful than playoff hockey. And Gordon, I think we should close it out with that. Gordon, end it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm crying right now. Oh god, this is what I screwed up. Remember to leave a like on this video if you already haven't subscribed. Subscribe for more than NHL on our channel. Thank you guys for watching this. We do appreciate it. We will see you guys. Maybe game of random, maybe. I don't know. Well, next time I'll see you with Matt. I'll probably be back here within the next. I'll probably be back here pretty soon. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Probably tomorrow. I don't know. But we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Thank you guys for watching. Matt, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
This has been Gordon. I've been Matt, and that was hockey.
Thank you very much. All right, guys. See you.